What's up? Today's video is about how to find a good therapist. I'm John, a student marriage and family therapist. Let's jump in. Therapy can be life-changing if you find the right person, someone who gets you, who feels safe, and who can guide you through the hard stuff. But getting started can feel like a maze. Finding a therapist can feel overwhelming. Maybe you're not sure where to start. Maybe you're wondering what kind of therapist you even need. And maybe, like so many people, you're scared to take that first step. That's totally normal. You might feel stuck or unsure if you're doing it right, but here's the truth. You're already doing the brave thing by even considering it and watching this video. Okay, understanding who's who. Let's break down your options in the therapy world. First, you have psychiatrists, and they are medical doctors. They prescribe medication and typically don't offer long-term talk therapy. Then you have psychologists, and they're doctors. They've got a PhD or a PsyD, and they focus on testing and evaluations, but some also do therapy. And then you have licensed therapists like LMFTs, LPCs, or LCSWs, and they're your go-to for talk therapy. Oftentimes, if you're seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist, you'll also work with a licensed therapist on a more regular schedule if needed. The therapist will work closely with the psychiatrist and psychologist to help coordinate care. Now, this doesn't happen every time, but I'd say it's pretty typical. And then you have life coaches, and they're great for things like goal setting, but typically they're not trained for trauma, processing deep emotional pain, or mental health diagnoses. Here's what I want you to think about. Credentials are good to know, but don't get stuck there. What's most important is this. It's not about the modality or the degree. It's the connection between you, the client, and your therapist. It's about how you feel interacting with this person. So listen to this. Connection is key. Next, what makes a good therapist? Here's how you know someone might be a good fit. 1, you feel seen and not judged. 2, you're comfortable being honest, even about the hard stuff. 3, they have experience in the area you're struggling with. 4, their personality and style are a good fit for what you need. Okay? Some therapists are warm and reflective, and others are more direct and structured. There's no right way, just the right fit for you. Okay? So after 2 or 3 sessions, I want you to ask yourself, do I feel safe enough to go deeper? And if not, it's okay to keep looking. Seriously, you're not stuck. Finding the right fit is important, and I want the best for you, especially when it comes to your mental health and being mindful of your finances. And that gets us to our next part here, which is to know your financial options. I hate to even bring this up, but we need to talk money because this part trips up people a lot. Typically, therapy costs can range from $75 to $250 per session. Some therapists offer sliding scale fees based on your income. What that means is if you make less, you pay less. Don't be afraid to ask, okay? If you're using insurance, it can save you money, but something to be mindful of, insurance usually requires a diagnosis in order for the insurance company to reimburse your therapist. What that means is that that diagnosis goes into your medical record. So if you're looking for more privacy, consider paying cash. Many therapists offer reduced rates for direct pay clients, and when you pay out of pocket, there's no diagnosis required. Other resources you can check out are employee assistant programs, otherwise known as EAPs, and that's through your job. You can also check out university training clinics. These are supervised students at a low cost. This can be a benefit if finances are tight. I just completed this portion of my schooling. And so here's the process. I met with a licensed supervisor who's a therapist once a week to discuss client cases. And then I met with my school professor once a week to discuss client cases, who's also a therapist. This means I was getting insight from 2 supervisors on how to handle client cases. So what I'm saying is it's worth it if finances are tight. You can also check out community counseling centers or nonprofits in your area. The point is there are options even on a tight budget. Now, how to start the search. Here's where to look. First, you can try websites like Psychology Today, Therapy Den, Mental Health Match. You can also try Google, or here's an interesting one, ChatGPT. You can let ChatGPT know what kind of therapist you're looking for and the location you're looking in. See what pulls up. You'd be surprised about what you'll see. Okay, next, you can also ask trusted friends, pastors, or your primary care doctor for recommendations. Usually, those resources will have a list of trusted professionals that they've worked with in the past. You can also check local universities with counseling programs. Many offer low-fee clinics, and like I said earlier, those programs are really good, and you'll have multiple seasoned therapists involved in the process. Last thing, get on a wait list. Therapists often book up, but spots open up all the time. So don't be afraid, get on that wait list. Next, have a goal. You don't need to know exactly what's wrong, but think about going in with a goal. Something like, I want to stop feeling stuck, or I need help managing my anxiety, or I want to improve my marriage. Therapists are not mind readers. The more clarity you bring, the more they can help. Okay, what to expect in sessions. Therapists' flow differ a bit, but generally follow the same vibe. Here's what the first few sessions usually look like. Session 1, you might feel nervous. It can feel like a word vomit, and that's normal. You're just letting all that bottled up energy out. And then in session 2, still maybe feeling a bit awkward, maybe some digging into your story happens. And then session 3, now you're doing the work. You should expect insight, homework, and maybe learning a few new skills. Remember, therapy isn't always comfortable, but it should feel safe. And growth happens when you're honest and open, and when your therapist creates a space for that. Here's a real life example. I had a friend who was terrified to try therapy. He thought he'd be judged or that it wouldn't help. But he found someone who specialized in anxiety, and after a few sessions, he said, it's like someone finally turned the light on. And that's what a good therapist can do. Okay, so here's the recap. Understand that you have options. There is an opportunity here to find a good match that will meet your needs. Know what you're looking for, or at least have an idea of what you might be looking for. Be clear about your goals. Navigate the finances wisely. Again, you have options. This one's important. Give it 3 to 4 sessions before ultimately deciding, okay? Therapy isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who helps you feel more like yourself. And trust me, that connection, it's out there. If you feel comfortable, drop your story or questions in the comments below. I'd love to read them, and I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more real talk about mental health, relationships, or leveling up your emotional game, hit that like and subscribe button and check out the next video.